Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Shay, and I'm an aspiring debut novelist with my project I'm currently working on called Project Legendary. It is going to be a YA contemporary Greek mythology reimagining with a twist, some themes of second chances, reincarnation, all that good stuff. This challenge being my July camp NaNoWriMo. Oh wow, that was probably a really ugly week. Ignore that. / rough draft challenge for July. I set some goals at the beginning of July, and I want to share those goals with you really quickly one more time. I was about 16K words into this second draft rewrite. Now, the second draft rewrite is mostly focused on developmental changes because there were some changes in the premise, some added POVs from the first draft that I had done. All other tweaks and tricks of the draft that I know I need to edit in and revising, a lot of that I've decided to move into 3. The only time I'm really adding it in right now is if it's my challenge for the day or the prompt of the day from the Abby Evans writing retreat thing that I signed up for. So if it's not really dealing with that in that part of my page, I wasn't really worried about it. I was really trying to make sure my draft 2 developmental plot made sense for this draft. So that was my starting point. My goal was to write about 810 words a day. That way I could write 25K in 1 month. I thought it would be a good halfway challenge so that later on I practice working this muscle to do the whole 50K in a month later in the year. So that was my goal for this. I believe in setting realistic expectations for myself, alright? And I believe that that is a healthy way of doing it. I don't think I should overly stress myself to the point where I get sick of the project because I've stressed myself too much over it. So something that's challenging, but not gonna make me burn out. And which means I would be at about 41K for my story as a total, which would put me about 10K away from my final word count goal for the story, or at least that's where draft 1's word count goal ended. So that was just a quick review of the challenge that I gave myself for this month. I did that because we were really close to hitting that goal. Let me show you how close. I don't know if I'm going to do a screenshot or not, but I have hit 35,177 words in the project as a whole. So I am only 5 to 6K words away from hitting my overall word count goal for the month because I am at 20,635K for the challenge. I am 5K away from hitting my challenge goal. And it's not Monday. That's when you're going to see this, on Monday. But I'm recording this on Friday. Alright, it is July 17th. Which means if I write the next 2 days and Monday at the pace I've been going, I might hit my count for the entire month of July by the time you're seeing this video. Not by the time I edit this video, so there will be nothing on the screen telling you where, I'm at in my word count. But if I hit it on Monday, by the time this uploads, it'll be a part of the description. Okay, I hit my NaNoWriMo goal, July camp NaNoWriMo goal for 2026. So I am super excited to be that far ahead of schedule, that I'm going to be a whole week ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, next video is going to be the last one. I was going to originally do one on that Monday and then on the official last day of July, but there's really no need if I'm going to be done by then. And the only way I wouldn't have met my goal by the next video would be if I literally took this entire next week off, which I'm not going to do. This week is, however, also my last week of my summer break. I go back to teaching the week after that. So a quick heads up, the Monday videos, that'll come to a stop with the next video of the last installment of this July challenge. And then I will go back to only posting once a week. And I'm going to try and keep that once a week to being Wednesdays, just so that there's still consistency with all of my previous videos that are already up on YouTube. Yay for us! Hitting goals, crushing goals, all that good stuff. And now I want to talk to you about my week, because that's what you came here for. Monday was catch up from the last week of chaos. I was so behind on everything that I basically spent most of Monday working on my YouTube stuff, working on recording, working on editing stuff. I was so behind from about 7:30 in the morning till like noon was all YouTube related stuff. I did not follow my schedule at all. It was just all trying to make sure everything got up in time, was edited for YouTube. So that was my Monday basically. My Abby prompt was all about character voice tips, which I know I need to go back into my draft during draft 3 and make sure all of my characters sound independent. Because right now, I don't know that that's the case. Some of them have a distinct voice, but not enough of them. I'm currently reading The Secret World of Maggie Gray. If you are interested in knowing about how my reading list is going, my TBRs, my current list, I made a nice, lovely video exploring my brand new bookshelf that I bought, as well as at the second half of that video is all about my reading. So check that out if you haven't. Actually, I don't know which side the video card would be on. I don't know why I'm going over here. Brought that up because what I really love about that series is that each character's voice is very distinct. I know exactly who's talking whenever dialogue appears because of what they say and how they say it. It's very distinct. Asha does not sound like Susie. Susie does not sound like Isis. Isis does not sound like Maggie or Namir or Quan. Like, the guys don't sound the same, the girls don't sound all the same. Everybody has a very distinct voice, even the side characters. So I really want to have that same quality of voice in my book. Then we get to Tuesday. PT, of course. I'm not an exercise girly, so I am super excited to say that my PT is wrapped up this week. Okay, super excited for that. I got a call from my principal that made it to where this week and next week I had to adjust my schedule to include basically starting to work now. I've only been teaching one grade level for a really long time, and in this upcoming school year I'm going to be teaching 2 different grade levels, potentially 3. She hasn't gotten back to me yet about if I'm going to have to do that 3rd one or not, but with that being the case, that is also why I'm really glad you've gotten used to this format of us talking and not really the Authortube aesthetic that's really dominating the YouTube space of like a cozy aesthetic where I film me getting coffee and going to coffee shops and Barnes and Nobles and walking around my house and stuff like that. Because as much as I would love to be one of those kind of like Authortube girlies of the aesthetic, I can't. I really can't. Not during the school year. I think I will make a bigger effort to elevate it to that kind of status next summer, or maybe over winter break, or maybe do a Thanksgiving break one that's really aesthetically pleasing. But on a consistent basis during the school year, it's just not realistic for me. And I have to acknowledge that. Because a lot of the Authortubers that I watch and things of that nature that do that, and they're really cool and I love them, most of them writing is what they do most for their job. Or they work from home. So there's a different kind of aesthetic there that they can do for themselves. They have the time to do that because they work from home. Or they don't have small children that are going to take the camera and run off with it if they see it, like my son definitely will. And in fact, he'll try to eat the camera. So can't be recording when he's allowed to roam about, all right? But that's he's home with me most of the time. When I'm home, he's home. I get up in the morning, I have enough time in the morning to get myself dressed and brush my teeth before I need to get him out of his bed and start getting him ready, sit him down, feed him, all that other kind of stuff that we leave together. He goes to daycare, then I go to work, then I don't even come home. I go pick him up from daycare and then come home. So he is home the entire time. The only time I really will have to film and stuff is over the weekends and at night. So you might actually start seeing a lot more candlelit videos from me. That'll be the aesthetic, the cozy aesthetic, I guess, because we will be doing stuff in the evening times. I caught up on a little bit of reading for the rest of that day. It was mostly Maggie, not gonna lie. Out of my 3 books, that's the one I was able to catch up on because it was an audiobook and I was at a really intense part and I was like, I need to get through this part. So I caught up on Maggie. I still need to catch up at this point in time in Blood at the Root and Cersei. I am so behind reading Cersei, but that's because it's my physical book. So I can only read it really when I have time to just like sit in my space. Because my son likes to be in my space. And he really does enjoy books. My son loves flipping through books and stuff like that. He loves when I read to him and things of that nature. But he also likes just the process of flipping. Not really conducive to reading. Tuesday is when I hit 30K words on my draft for my milestone, so I am super excited about that. And the other tip for that day from Abby was about dialogue. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Voice into dialogue. I see what you did there, Abby. And honestly, I think the dialogue is fine. I just need to tweak it once I tweak the voices. That'll come naturally with the dialogue. I'm actually very comfortable writing dialogue because of my previous experience with RP. Dialogue is a big part of that, you know. So I'm very used to it. That's something I'm actually really, really comfortable with. Wednesday, hump day. Wednesday came along and chef kiss was Wednesday. Wednesday is what I made this schedule for. It was a perfect day that followed the schedule according to plan, and I could not have been happier. I felt so productive on Wednesday. It was crazy. Now, mind you, when you see the footage from Wednesday, hopefully YouTube and my somewhere recording editing software likes me, and you won't hear all the rain. That's my hope and prayer, because it's been raining all week really hard, to the point where there's been flood warnings all week. There was like 2 tornadoes that touched down. It was crazy. Also, what happened Wednesday, I recorded my very first writing challenge video, which you guys are going to see on Wednesday. It's actually going to come up after this video is going to be uploaded. But once the video is uploaded, I'm going to go ahead and add a little info card to the top of the screen so that if you are watching this after the fact, you can still easily just click on it and go check out my first writing challenge that was all about scenery, setting, describing where we're at. So it's crazy I can do that verbally, but not on paper. Abby's tip for that day was show, don't tell. The advice that literally every YouTube video gives you when it's talking about, honestly, any part of writing. When they talk about dialogue, when they talk about setting, when they talk about plot. Show, don't tell, character descriptions. You hear that everywhere. I'm gonna worry about that in draft 3. Because I feel like I do a pretty good job of showing, not telling, but I do know I should probably work on it. Not because I'm not used to doing it, but because both in the first draft and in the second draft, I was so focused on getting the plot points out and getting the story pieces out, and then making sure once it was all laid out that, okay, this all makes sense. There's no plot holes. Every scene has purpose and meaning and blah, 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 blah. That it might read right now like a series of plot cards. Like if I were to like write a thing on an index card like they do it, just do it, like it might actually read like that right now. So I will fix that in draft 3. And I'll go back to the videos about that in draft 3. Thursday, which was yesterday, final PT day, I'm free. Can you tell I don't like to exercise? I'm not an exercise girly, which is crazy because like my best friend, whew, she loves to exercise. That's her bread and butter. And she's tried so many times to get me to go with her, but the last time I did, I'm pretty sure I had an asthma attack. So we don't work out together no more. I edited yesterday the YouTube video. Once again, that's going to go up on Wednesday. I attempted to catch up more on reading. It was a very sad attempt. I really only attempted for about an hour. I only read for about an hour that day. But I tried to focus it on Blood at the Root and Cersei. I got rained on because I went to Walmart for some cleaning supplies. The Abby prompt was all about making sure your scene has purpose, which meant killing some darlings. It really does hurt my heart to have to do that, because some of the scenes in this book, if I couldn't figure out a way to make them serve some kind of multiple purposes, but some of the scenes were just like, hey, look at this side character, he's funny, let's spend some time with him. Even though it progresses the plot, not at all. Not at all, not at all. And I had to realize some of the scenes I took out of this book, but I put them in the, I saved them away for a future book, because that side character that I think is so awesome and fun will be more important later. And so when he's more, or she is more important later, that's when we can do the fun scenes with them, because then it'll be more relevant to the actual plot you're reading about, instead of just this random nugget about this random character that, even though it's super fun, it doesn't really do anything for the current plot. Then comes Friday, so that's today, me recording this video, knowing kind of sadly that this is the second to last Camp July writing vlog that I will be doing, but it's been a good journey, honestly. I'm really happy about how this went, how it turned out. I'm really proud of myself for staying consistent and being, steady with it. I hit this morning my 20K word count, so I'm only 5K away from my overall goal, which does mean, like I said at the beginning of this video, next video will be the last one. Abby's thing today was all about chapter hooks and ending. The first 30 minutes of my writing time was spent looking over the beginning and ends of my chapters to make sure that they were interesting or left you wondering or wanting more, that one chapter more mentality. And then I spent the next 30 minutes on plot holes, because in my story, I go from it being August and then being like, oh, a week later, it's Halloween. Like, where did all of September and October go? Where? And it would be different, because, you're not going to write every single day. That's not realistic. However, because of the things that happen at those certain plot points, there is no way on God's green earth these characters would sit and twiddle their thumbs and do absolutely nothing with the information that they gained in those plot points for a month and a half. There's no way. Especially not teenagers. Absolutely not. So I spent 45 minutes after I was writing to replot how this timeline is supposed to be moving. And I will write it in tomorrow, because after spending 45 minutes doing that and finally solving my problem, I was tired. I was like, I can't sit here and do this anymore. I need a little mental break. So I will write it in tomorrow before I start my counting of my time and my word count for Saturday. Because like the day when I just went back in and I just rearranged stuff about what my character's descriptions were and just moved them around, and I didn't count any words from that day because I didn't feel like I was adding anything. I was just cutting and pasting it in different places where I felt like it would go better. That's all I'm doing here, is replacing the month October with September, or August with September, or the first of the month to the 2nd or 15th, or a Thursday with a Wednesday. So it's not like it's going to be a huge amount of writing. It might add 1 or 2 words at best. I'm substituting words. Saturday, my husband's friend's gonna come over, and we're gonna watch movies. We're gonna watch that not new, because we actually figured out we missed when it was in theaters, and that's kind of why we're watching it at home now. But we're gonna watch Zendaya and, what's his face? Robert Pattinson's the drama, that wedding one that she's in. And then Project Hail Mary. So super excited to see those movies that day. I'm a big Zendaya stan. I love me some Zendaya in her movies, and I'm so excited that she's going to be playing Athena in the Odyssey. It's been interesting seeing the makeup choice that they went for that, but hey, who am I to question a world-class director, right? That's what he gets paid the big bucks to decide, and wardrobe and all that other kind of stuff. But I'm still super excited to see it, because I think it's really cool that she's getting to be that kind of a role. Though I will say, as much as I am a stan for her, I do love her being in movies and stuff like that. I do also kind of agree with the consensus that Hollywood, there's more than 5 actors in the world right now. There's more than 5. There's more than her, Tom, Timothy, and Lupita, and like there's more than there's The Rock. Like, can we? I'm so sure that there's more actors. Can we get some more people in these movies, please? Thanks, please and thank you. Anyways, hot take later. Honestly, that might actually be a cool video to do. Not a movie hot take, because I'm not a movie girl buff. I would have to have my husband sit in for that one if he would be willing to, because he's the movie buff. I'm just there for the ride. But writing trope hot takes, reading trope hot takes, I think, because how I feel about enemies to lovers, I'll save it. I'll save it for another video, because anyways, Sunday, I plan on making it a relaxing day. I plan on catching up on my reading once and for all. Both Blood at the Root and Cersei, because right now I'm at the 25% mark for Blood at the Root in the audiobook, and I'm in chapter 9. I'm in chapter 9 of Cersei. I started that like midway through last month. I should be farther than that. The chapters aren't that long. I want to be at least 50% of the way through both Blood at the Root and Cersei by midnight Sunday night. Alright, when I start Monday, I want to be at 50% of both of those books. So we shall see. That's what I'm going to spend most of Sunday doing. And then I'll pick up, the next time you see me will be that Monday, the next time, our last video, where I'll hopefully be telling you I met the goal Monday or Tuesday at the latest. Thank you guys for coming along on this ride with me. It's been so much fun. I hope we can finish strong together next week. If you've been going along doing this, your own version of this challenge, tell me how your goals have been going down in the comment section. I would love to hear about it. Did you struggle like I struggled with time management and just outside influences coming into play? Did you hit your goal early, like I feel like I'm about to? Did you crush that goal and be like, dang, maybe I should have set a harder goal? Are you not on track to hit that goal? Do you need help, encouragement, like anything like that? Go ahead and talk to me down in the comments. I would love to talk to you guys about it. As always, go ahead and click like if you enjoyed this content and my little yap session that we're having. I like this because it feels like we're just like sitting and talking like friends. Like, comment, subscribe, and check in for me next time. Have a nice day. Toodles!